work with students. So I forget who was the program director then. I think it was Laurie Lewis.
Laurie?
Or the person.
Yeah, probably it was Laurie.
Yeah. And we said, you know, maybe we can offer this course to the graduate students here at in the MCIS program. There's a very kind of strong overlap between our two programs. You do information, communicating information, you do corporate and organizational. And the course kind of blends those two things in an international kind of global setting. And we've taken quite a few MCIS students over the past summer. And your current MCIS director, Jennifer Gibbs, is also very supportive of our program and really strongly encourages people to take advantage of this study abroad opportunity. So that's me. Now Marie is in Portland at the ACRL conference.
People don't always leave the country or get as far away when I visit,
but Marie has been, last year she ran a course at Broxton in the same time period as the communication course in British Libraries and Archives. And so this would be the second year that, again, we can make this wonderful facility available to graduate students in the library program. And Joel Kay can talk more about that program probably later in our session.
Absolutely.
But what I want to do right away is introduce the star of the show here. Dean Nicholas Baldwin is the Dean of Broxton College. He's in charge of everything that goes on there and this wonderful facility. So I just want to invite you to take the floor and say a few words about what they can expect.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Been drinking.
I was going to photo bomb.
Yeah, we do selfies and all that sort of thing, or whatever these days. When I was at college, of course, you'd have portrait painters. Well, thank you for taking time out of your schedule, or indeed logging on for this. I should say something about what you're actually seeing here. This is the college, the entrance, the gates, because one of the main features, and that's the college itself, the main building. It's a National Historic Monument. The oldest part of the building is from 1217. Don't worry, we have electricity and running water and so on. But the main part, the middle third of the building, dates from 1580. It's the family home, or was the family home of the Norths, including your last Prime Minister. Lord North is known as our worst Prime Minister because he's the man who lost the colonies. Little unpleasantness between our two countries. But everyone has been a benchmark for bad Prime Ministers. Everyone since has been the worst Prime Minister since Lord North. No one could be possibly worse than Lord North. We thought David Cameron might have been if he'd lost Scotland last year, but as he didn't. I think this is no longer turning. This has been up a long time, so I'm not sure about anything else. But this is the main building. That's my office. That's our second lecture hall, the Regency Room. This is the library wing. These are teaching rooms, and all of the others are student bedrooms. Single and double study bedrooms, each with their own bathroom. It's not a commode or anything like that. You have your own bathroom. And then there's another building just here, which is the old stable block, which is our kitchen, dining room, bar and coffee area, and main lecture hall. Every morning, classes stop for tea and coffee, and every afternoon, classes stop for tea and coffee. We're English, so we have to have regular injections of tea or coffee. I mean, we compromise, we provide coffee, partly because we know that you'll end up throwing the tea in a harbour. So I don't know why, but you know, so we provide coffee as well. But it is a remarkable building to be part of. It's part of your history as Americans. As I say, Lord North was born here. He lived here. He was Member of Parliament for this whole area. This was his power base, and he actually died in this building. But it's part of maybe the decisions that led to Yorktown. Took place here. But it's, as I said, it's a Grade 1 listed building, a National Historical Monument, and quite something to find yourself part of. The grounds as well, we have a 56-acre estate. The abbey itself is here, and you've got landscape gardens, a small lake. You have to dress like this on my birthday. We have a medieval banquet for the groups. This is a visit to Oxford.
That's Christchurch.
This handsome gentleman actually welcomes people. This is a very old black and white picture, but an aerial photograph of the little village, and this is in the village of Roxton, coming down one of the narrow roadways. This is the reading room of the library at the college. That's the main building, but seen from the back. Little chapel there. This is one of our ornamental gardens, the Knott Garden with Her Ladyship's Lake. This is back in the little village, the duck pond, one of the public houses. The college gates would have been just there. Modern amenities. You can do your washing when you're there. As I say, this is the entrance, the college gates, and down the drive you see the main building, the abbey itself. This is the carriage house, as I say, kitchen, dining room, bar and coffee area, main lecture hall. This is the Regency room, the second of our two main lecture halls, and this is one of the staircases, the royal staircase up to the, well, that's back down at the bottom of those. That's the reading room of the library again. British technology at its best. We have fire cards, so we know who's in the building at any one time. You can come and go as you please, but we need to know for fire safety who we need to look for in the event of a fire. Cross me and we don't look for you. That's not a threat. It's a promise. This is one of the back gardens again. A swan. There you are. Wildlife. And again, the building, the main building itself, the old abbey. One of the libraries. We've got 3 library rooms. This is the Guildford Library, and proof that we have a student at least looking like they're working. One of the bedrooms. The King's room. Anyway, James I stayed in that room, and Charles I stayed in that room, and that's not that room, that's the Queen's room, because their queens stayed in the room. That's a picture taken by Gary when he was back from the pub one night. This is one of the teaching rooms in the basement, and also one of the games rooms in the basement, pool and table tennis and so on. This is the main Great Hall, the main thrust of the building, and then over the back lawns from the building itself. Ah, there you are. A round table discussion. I don't know why we call it that. But, and then playing something on Frisbee, I think, on the back lawn. This is just some of the walks around the grounds on the estate, a 56-acre estate with the waterfall, the Cascade Waterfall. There's a large lake at the top and so on. Probably a walk from the abbey down to the barbecue area. One of the things we might do is hold a barbecue in the grounds when you're there. They are the chapel built in 1618. Another view into the Guildford Library, a Regency staircase. And we have modern equipment as well. There's no reason why you can't keep fit and work along one of the corridors, the Royal Corridor. We fly the flags, those that are appropriate and those that are not. Take your pick. And this is just in the little village itself. Someone once said to me it's the English village Walt Disney would have designed. This is the weather from here this year in England. But, and again another, even the ducks have a thatched house. This is the duck house on the village pond. And that's the, as I say, the main building and main entrance. And another view across one of the lakes. We could go on like this, we could be going around in circles. I don't think we have yet. So again, another view when we have the snow and when we don't have snow. People. Having just come from tea or coffee, I think. This is in one of my faculty colleagues, Angela Morris's teaching rooms. That's the courtyard outside the carriage house. That's some person without a wig teaching in his office. You have to wear clothes like that every Wednesday. Now, again, the musicians at the medieval banquet. And just, again, another view of the back of the college. I have no idea who those people are. Now, one of our visiting speakers on the programme. And students actually at Broughton Castle, which is our sister building. This is an obelisk built for His Royal Highness Prince Frederick when he visited. He would have become king but died in a cricket accident, so didn't become king.
A bizarre cricket accident.
Yes.
I guess it does happen.
It does happen. These are scenes in the Great Hall. And the building at night, pixelated by the look of it.
Yeah.
I'm not even going there. It's gone a bit odd, hasn't it? This is my eyesight. That's the Regency Room, and this is a painting of Lady North and their foxhounds, and the White Horse pub at the top of the village on the main road. And there you are, the college at night. Anyway, you probably get the idea, and this may be going round and round in circles again. I think we've seen that, the duck pond and whatever. But the first thing I would say in terms of attracting people to come and spend some time there, be it a week long or 2 week long or even a 15-week long semester, is it's an unusual place, particularly for Americans, to find themselves part of. It's a beautiful location. It is a national historical monument, indeed the highest grade historical monument you can get in my country. You know, we have this, Buckingham Palace and Stonehenge, you know, that sort of thing. And you don't get arrested if you go inside this. The other two may be. So there's an advantage to this. But this is where you would be living while you're there. This is not a museum and you have a tower block, you know, here to live in. This is where you would be living. You may well find yourself in the King's Room or the Queen's Room or whatever, staying there. And as I say, it's modernised: water, electricity, bathrooms, you know, plumbing, flush toilets. You know, it's all of that is there.
And
so
Wi-Fi.
And Wi-Fi, yes, the building is Wi-Fi connected. So it is a remarkable place to find yourself part of. Next, really, is while you're there, we are encouraging you to pursue your academic pursuits, whether it's the corporate, international communications program or indeed the library one, so that you don't have anything else to worry about. Meals will be provided, as I say, there's breakfast provided, tea and coffee and cakes in the morning, tea and coffee and cakes in the afternoon, lunch and dinner when you're on campus. So you don't have to think, oh gosh, do I need to do the shopping, cook them? It's all provided for you. There's maid service in the bedrooms every weekday. And everything, as I say, is arranged. The trips that are part and parcel of the program, you'll see the schedule for either program you're interested in. All of that is provided. All you have to do is turn up and get on the vehicle and off you go. You don't have to worry about anything else. You don't have to worry about, oh, I've got to do this, I've got to do this. You can concentrate on your academic pursuits. It's going back to the original times when this was an abbey, and the monks concentrated on their thoughts, as I'm sure you will when you're there. Two other features, really, that one can talk about is in either or indeed both programs. Although you have your own faculty with you, and I have some of my own indigenous faculty and so on, what we're doing is bringing in visiting speakers, experts in their field to you, or indeed taking you to them. So you're getting real experts in the field, quite literally. And secondly are the site visits that you would go on, either the communications or indeed the library people, libraries, archivists and so on, so that you are really taking the maximum opportunity of not being in your classroom here and seeing something that you wouldn't actually get to see unless you left the country. I know you can see libraries and archivists and businesses and so on over here, but you're looking at it in an international context. You're learning different ways, not better or worse, different ways of how things are done. And you can learn a considerable amount from that, either in the sense of, my God, I hadn't thought of it this way, this is terrific, I'm going to take this home with me or whatever, or, good heavens above, I didn't realize how much what we're doing is the right way, and God help us if we ever did that. You know, you can learn either to reinforce something that you weren't perhaps sure about yourself, or learn something new, or indeed, of course, a combination. I like this, we could do it this way, or I don't like that, we need to do it this way. It's a wonderful experience, a wonderful opportunity to do something that you wouldn't do normally if you carry on in your normal way of academic pursuits. So I would recommend to anyone in whatever field that they're in that they take advantage of these sorts of opportunities, and particularly for the international communications and the library studies, because this has been tailor-made really based on what your faculty here specifically want as part of your program. And this has been tailor-made for you. So it's a wonderful opportunity, and you know, I know it's a commitment in terms of time, I know it's a commitment in terms of money, but equally you really do get a great deal out of it academically for your program. But I think you also get a great deal out of it, you know, for your own self personally, and I know this is shocking, it can also be enjoyable, because you've also got other things. I'm not claiming that the medieval banquet, for example, is necessarily educational, but it can be fun. And so it is an experience. It's, you know, I usually say to my undergraduates, you know, you can eat with your fingers, although actually seeing them, they do that anyway. But nevertheless, it is a wonderful all-round experience, because you will have some free time in Stratford-upon-Avon, you will have some free time in Oxford, you will have some free time in London, as well as times in those places that are part and parcel of the program. So we're trying to balance, you know, yes, the academics, but also the, if you like, the generic experience of being overseas. And you can, of course, learn from being overseas anyway, but we try and focus that experience as well as part of the program. So, I mean, should I be saying anything else? You both know it. Any questions? Any
why
comments?
don't we open it up for questions?
Yeah.
People always have a lot of questions. And Jake and see if there are any questions online too.
They've all gone to sleep, the people online, haven't they? Switch to something else.
Questions?
Yes, go on.
Is there any kind of dress code that you would recommend?
We do want you to dress.
Well, yes, yes, but I meant like.
Okay, I'm just checking.
I meant like shorts or like jeans
Well,
or like khakis, business casual.
you need to ask your particular faculty here. What I would say is, I think we might be, you know, stiff upper lips and snobs, the English. I think they would be slightly surprised if you turned up in shorts or indeed pajamas with a visiting speaker. Now, that doesn't mean to say you need to be in a top hat and tails, you know, but I would have thought to be smartly casual for classes on site. That would be, would I be right in that?
I love
Yeah.
smart casual. That's a great term.
If you are then going out and about to site visits, what I always say to students, be they undergraduates or graduates, I think that it's courteous to the people who are hosting you as if you dress as if you were going for a job interview for a job you wanted. But if you're on free time, heavens above, dress as you like. If you're going to the theatre, frankly, you see all sorts, you know, so up to you. People with jeans and t-shirts, or people will be in, well, not necessarily ball gowns for the theatre, but I think you should be casually smart for the sessions. And yeah?
Yeah.
But at other times, sure, you bring your shorts to rivet. But yes, dress. Yeah?
Carrie online that wants to know how many students are on the trip.
That does depend. We keep it small. It's probably going to be maybe a dozen on the library archivist course, and possibly 15, 17 on the corporate communications course. That would be what we normally do. One of the things we have at the college is we are small anyway. I mean, if we're full with people, it's 70 at the college, and we often have 2 or 3 or sometimes even 4 small programs in at the same time. So, for example, the 2 programs we're talking about now will be in at the same time. They'll do some things together, the medieval banquet, for example, but other things are separate to their program. And I think when you're there, we've got an overlap of another program in at the same time. well, unless one at the first half and one at the second half. So there's all sorts of. I know in the mid-May to the end of July we've got 17 different courses in over that time. But they're small classes anyway. So no one is lost in the crowd. And in class sessions, for example, you always have opportunity. I mentioned about visiting speakers. It's not a case of you're in this huge room, we bring in this eminent person, they pontificate and then leave. It's round table discussions. You will, in either group you're talking about, have plenty of opportunity for interaction with the faculty and so on. So it's certainly they're small groups.
Another question from Carrie online.
The same Carrie, or we have two Carrie online?
There's one Carrie.
Hi, Carrie.
There's only one Carrie.
Only one Carrie.
She asks, what are the sleeping quarters like? Single or double rooms? And are they assigned, or can you request a single versus a double room?
There are single and double rooms. In fact, we have some rooms that can be triples and quadruples. We do not put graduates in double rooms unless they request to be in a double room and with the person that they request to be in. So if you would be there as a graduate, you'd be in a single room anyway. What are they like? Well, there are 55 rooms on campus. No two are the same shape, size, height, width, or whatever. They're all different. None are on what we would call the ground floor, what you call the first floor, and we have no elevators. So pack lightly, you are responsible for your own luggage. In terms of if you find yourself on a particular floor, you have to get your luggage up there. Or smile sweetly at someone else who'll do it for you, and it won't be me. However sweetly someone smiles. But they're all different, but all of them, they are student bedrooms. We're not the Hilton. There is not room service in the rooms or whatever. But we do have a small kitchenette in the college and a wonderful cappuccino coffee latte machine available 24 hours a day, free of charge, which is desperately dangerous as I'm a coffeeholic. Any other questions from Kerry online?
I think Paul has a question.
Paul not online has a question.
I'm a runner. Is there running track?
Absolutely. There's running machines in the gym that you saw, but yes, we have a 56-acre estate, and there is a path around the estate which many people use as a running trail, but equally others actually leave the grounds and go through the village into adjacent villages and so on. Many people do that. You just have to remember that we are on an alternative side of the road that you are used to. When in Rome.
My wife is Japanese.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, there's no shortage of places to jog, run, what have you, on or off campus. Anything else? Go on, I know you want to ask
I'm
something.
trying to think of something to add. Because my
Oh,
brain
oh.
is stopped.
Your brain is stopped. I hate
I'm
it when
just
that happens.
absorbing it all.
I mean, it's too much to absorb all at once, isn't it? Yes,
So I'm just, in
Paul
terms
not
of-
online again.
Not online. In terms of, you are recommending that I bring a suit as I would for
Yeah, I would. That's my view.
I wouldn't bring a suit, maybe just a jacket.
Jacket and, well, there you are. It's something smart that you might wear, as I say.
You don't need a real suit, Jay. Gary's right, a jacket, I think.
Yeah. But it's like for Stephen Baldwin, he's got this jacket and the jeans. Would that be
Well, I wouldn't wear jeans to a job interview.
No. No, you don't need a suit.
But you do need to be smart for those particular.
Yeah.
Normal stuff on campus. Hey,
Yeah.
we've already had this conversation.
No, I just want to know that
But-
distinction between
Yeah,
suit.
okay.
No,
But smart at times.
No.
You need a jacket should be.
A jacket, but not like a tuxedo or anything.
No, I wasn't suggesting a tuxedo. I mean, I'll of course be wearing a tuxedo. Top hat and silver top cane for breakfast. That's me. Anything else?
I
Yes.
haven't located on the map, so how far from London?
We are exactly from the geographical centre of London, Piccadilly Circus. We are 81 miles to the front steps of this building. Now, if you go on the train, we're 3 miles from the train station, 3 miles from the national bus route. If you go by train from Banbury into central London, it's 55 minutes on the train. Now, but there shouldn't be a need for you to do that because we are taking you in and out of London and so on. You'll see that if you've not seen the agenda, that sort of thing. So, but if you needed to do that, one of the reasons the university, Fairleigh Dickinson University, purchased this site is its geographical location. We're close to, well, my country is small anyway, it's only 600 miles from north to south and 300 east to west at the widest point, and nowhere's further than 75 miles from the ocean. But we are geographically in the middle of England, not adding Scotland, but the middle of England. And we're midway really between Oxford, home to that other well-known academic institution, and Stratford-upon-Avon, birthplace of William Shakespeare. So we're very close to both of those, and then, as I say, 81 miles outside the very, well, actually 62 miles from London, but 81 from the centre. London's pretty big, but it's easy to get to. Oh, she has a question. Her brain's back in gear. Yes.
You could answer this.
I'll
or you have to
try.
ask. But what would like a typical day be like?
There's no such thing as a typical day in
Or
Roxton, but let me tell you.
The breakdown of
sure.
how much is your time / program time.
It's going to vary,
Okay.
but I can answer it. Breakfast on a normal day would be available from 8 until 10 to 9. Okay? The first class, if you have, the day would be divided if we have a full day of class, 9 to 10:45. Coffee, 10:45 to 11:15. Second class, 11:15 till 1. Lunch at 1. Okay? Afternoon class, 2 until 3:45. Tea, 3:45 till 4:15. Another class, 4:15 till 6. It is, and dinner would be at 7. It is unlikely that any of your days would have 4 class sessions in like that. It would be much more likely to have 2 in the morning through to lunch, and then afternoon you're off on a trip. Or possibly you'll have days that are trips all day. There'll be a trip in the morning somewhere, you'll have a packed lunch, and there's a trip out somewhere else in the afternoon, or a particular site visit that afternoon. So I'm tempted to say if you're there for 2 weeks, really no 2 days are actually going to be the same. But you might have 3 classes in a day, and then that evening there's a medieval banquet. So you don't have the later, the last, sort of the 4th class in the afternoon. You get the idea like that. Really have a look at, well, the corporate communications one is there, but if you look at last year's library agenda, which you'll have, you can sort of get an idea. So it does vary, it does depend, but that would be how a day would be broken up. But you might have a trip in the morning, then back for a class, or 2 classes, then out for a trip, or 2 classes, and then off for the afternoon just for fun, and it's a trip, but it's not an academic trip. A variety. But then, variety is the spice of life.
And we'll have the agenda, it's pretty well set now, we have a few holes in it, but there'll be in Oxford 1 whole day, there'll be in Stratford-upon-Avon 1 whole day. You'll be in London 2 days, 1 day on your own, but another day going to the British Library and going to one of the archives sites in the afternoon. So, and then there's some other little trips, and then there's lectures.
Yes.
You said you typically have this twice, one in the fall and in the spring?
No, you misunderstood. We have typically 2 undergraduate 15-week semesters, one in the fall, one in the spring. The corporate communications program is once for May, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, same time.
There.
I have a question
Oh,
from
sorry.
Katie Gorell online.
Katie, yes.
That's one of
She
the libraries.
asks, is a laptop recommended or required for the guest lecturers?
It's not, it's not required, but we are, I'd be astonished if someone came without an electronic device these days. Gone are the days when people actually wrote things, oh, you're writing something down.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine people coming without their electronic device, laptop, or whatever it might be these days. But it's none of the speakers require that.
And they will work with the transformers.
Yeah.
You just need an adapter so you can.
Yeah. Anything electrical, students, visitors would need an adapter and a converter, either already built in or in addition to. But it's both an adapter and a converter.
Katie says thank you.
Okay, my pleasure. Anything else from anyone else? Online or present in the room? They're not limited, you can ask another question. He did after he's to 3. You're 2 behind him. Jeez.
You want me to say a word about food?
If you want to say a word about, no one's asked about food, we have food.
There is food.
But people usually ask about food.
Okay.
So, there's lots of choices. If there's really anything that you're concerned about food, we can let them know ahead. There's always vegetarian food. There's always a salad bar, lunch and dinner. So, there's a lot of choices, but there's definitely always vegetarian choices, as I say.
And we will, as long as we know, we will cater. I mean, if people are lactose intolerant or on a gluten-free diet, or as long as we know, the kitchen will cater
They
for
will
you.
do anything you want, so it's good that way. They're used to having students for all semester with all kinds of
Yeah.
issues.
Yeah, absolutely. On the other hand, if you want to just come and sample traditional English culinary delights, we will happily provide you with bubble and squeak, jellied eels, spotted dick, whatever you want.
Blood pudding.
Blood pudding, yes. Now there's a question online, what the hell is spotted dick?
You can get it here.
Yes, good. Quite right too.
I'm trying to think what else people might want to.
Maybe I will ask.
Okay. Yes, well, you've been very quiet so far. You can ask a question, certainly.
Students who go on this program, are they mainly Rutgers? What's the ratio between Rutgers students versus from Dickinson? From what I understand, it's a mix.
It does depend. At the moment, the library program has been entirely Rutgers people, well, through Rutgers people, because you've had people from elsewhere onto it. The corporate communications and international communications has been a mixture from year to year.
And some years we get students from other
Others
universities.
as well. Transfer in just for the program,
Yeah.
from
So
elsewhere.
last year we had students from University of California, we had a student from Ithaca. So it's quite an interesting group.
You had another question.
Yes. For the students, it's supposed to be a 3-credit course. How
Yes.
do you deal with the grading system? What does it entail?
I can't answer that because I have nothing to do with the grades. So you can just
Yeah.
smile sweetly and not hate me and hate him because he's getting the grades. So,
Okay.
Gary, you can answer that.
Yeah, no, you'll complete 3 credits worth of coursework in the 12 days.
Yeah, what is the coursework?
Oh,
Exam
the
paper?
assignments. Okay, the assignments, okay. There's going to be an examination at the end, which I hate to mention because then everybody worries about the examination. Don't worry about the examination. And then in between, there's no formal paper, but I do require 2 tutorials. And in that, and it's kind of like a discussion of the speakers and the visits and what's going on. And it's also, in a sense, a kind of oral exam as well. So I'll ask you to take notes on the speakers. If there's something the speaker says or a topic they cover that you need more information about, I would expect a student to either go on their laptop or go to the computer lab and do a little bit of outside research on that. And then in the 2 tutorial sessions, we'll discuss the questions, discuss whatever research you've done about those questions, and and that kind of counts as like a participation oral exam kind of grade. It's a very British tutorial type of thing. And then at the end, I used to have a paper, have students write a research paper that they did when they got home. It was not an effective tool, so what I do now is an examination on the last day. It's like an open book examination where you're asked to make sense and make connections between all the experiences that you have, and I grade that instead of a paper. Although you are encouraged to use, bibliographic information, books from the library, articles and stuff like that. Oftentimes the speakers will recommend for you to read, and so I will grade you on your ability to kind of use these resources and make sense of it. But you do it all while you're there.
Essentially bringing together the various sessions, because even though they're highlighted under different titles, particularly each day might be a different aspect, they are all interconnected. And I think what we're looking at is how you apply one thing from one day to something you've learned another day.
Yeah.
So the library program is a little different, particularly since it's just 8 days over there. And Marie and I are still thinking a little bit about how we're going to do it, but we have an online component. So I don't know whether we'll do a lot with the online while you're there, but then we will ask you to write a paper, but you won't have to write it. You can take some notes while you're there, and then you can do that. And maybe what I think we'll use the time when we come back, it's just a few more days, to have some discussion boards, talk about our experiences and so forth. So, but the big thing will just be the paper. So.
But there's always time in the sessions with the speakers and on-site
Yes.
visits to ask questions, as in-depth as you want. Because of the small nature of the groups, even if they have to be full, the small nature of groups, there's always time, as I say, to talk to the speakers or to talk when we're on the site visits and so on.
Yeah, that's what we really encourage.
Yeah.
It's not worrying about, I've got to write a paper or do a task. You really need to immerse yourself in the
Make really the most
and take advantage of all
of the
these
point of
people.
being there, really.
Yeah. Immerse yourself in the experience.
Yeah.
That's the most important.
Yes.
Another question. Who are the speakers that you invite?
Well, we actually have some on the. Me. There you are. I talk on a number of things. Let me see here. We have Dr. Angela Morris, who's a specialist in education, for example. Media profile in the UK, the impact of social media. A chap called Mark Ferguson, who's managing director of More Fire PR, which is well known in Britain. Then we've got, let me see here, Guy Fielding at Oxford University, looking at, what is his title here? It ain't necessary, so communication channels and corporate strategies. In fact, he's also doing another session on something for almost nothing. The nature, creation, impact of high performance teams. There you are. We've got people from Blue Hive, which is an advertising agency, looking at a couple of case studies on how they've approached something. I think that they've done advertising in the brewing sector because
they have the Ford account for Europe.
Yeah, but they've also done brewing because then you've got a visit to a brewery and you can see how it ties
they
in.
do Heineken and the Champions League. That's fascinating.
And then communicating corporate strategy within an organisation. Dr. Linda Lee Davis,
she's very
lecturer, and she also did a session on surfacing honest and hidden communication within the organisation for better performance.
Yeah. She was good.
And she is very good.
Oh yeah.
Then you've got Paul Davison, who's managing director of Proteus Public Relations, looking at corporate and organisational communication skills in the UK. And the idea is you just see what are the differences. Would you learn the same thing? Would you use the same thing? Something that works in Britain may not, of course, work. I don't know. Probably not a good idea to market rubber or rubbers in the United Kingdom if you're a Durex manufacturer, because it would be a pencil eraser in Britain. People would miss some understand what you were saying. It's like TWA, who once launched a new route in Indonesia and gave everyone a white carnation as they boarded the plane, which is a sign of imminent death in Indonesia. Not something you want to give. So you need to know some of the cultural things, something that absolutely worked. I remember as a kid, I haven't seen it for years. A kid, I went to France, and a fizzy drink was being sold in France called shit. You might not want to buy that. It was actually in French meant to be psht, the sound when you open the bottle, but it was pronounced shit. But anyway, so you get things like that. So, I mean, have a look at this, and you've got them listed. And it will be some of the same speakers, because this is last year's. Some of the same speakers this year. There'll be some differences, but the same general thrust.
Should we tell them about some of the speakers that are coming to that?
I'm just getting
Right.
the thing here. For the library, what have we got here? You've got afternoon at the Western Library, possibly the Bodleian if they finish their building works. You have a lecture, actually by me, looking at cultural differences between our two countries. You're going to have a session on history of libraries in the UK, hopefully visiting the Birmingham Public Library. You're having a lecture on the archives at Oxford, trends in academic libraries in the UK, Stephen Pinfield looking at that, looking at digital preservation in the UK, or our approach to that, Tim Gollins talking about that, trends in public libraries with Briony Birdie. You're looking at the British Library. You go and see the 4 original copies of the Magna Carta, 800 years old ago, this year. Visit to the British Museum, possibly, if not that, the Victoria and Albert Museum. Visit to Stratford, actually seeing a show in Stratford, and you'll have a senior Shakespeare scholar talking about that play before you see it. But you're also going to the Shakespeare Centre in Stratford, the library and archivists for that. So that's a full schedule in 8 days.
It is.
Oh God.
Yeah. So,
It is.
so you're getting quite a lot.
Well, you get a free day in London, so you can the bus drops us off in the morning, and you have the whole day to do what you want, and then the bus picks us up late enough so you can even go to a play in the evenings. It's nice.
And for the corporate and international communications,
Same
you'd
thing.
also have the same.
Yeah.
So you'll have some free time to do that in London,
So, it's good.
and some free time in Oxford, some free time in Stratford.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. Need to have time to look around.
Anything else?
Any online questions?
Any more online?
No.
Kerry online is gone. She's had enough. Bye, Kerry. Gone ages ago, hadn't she?
She's still here.
Oh, okay. Well, hi, Kerry.
She's still here.
Oh, excellent. Good. I was beginning to feel desperately alone without you. So I'm glad you're... hang on in there, Kerry. Okay. Well, thank you online, Kerry and others. Thank you, those of you who are here and in real time, for giving up your early evening to hear about this. I appreciate it, and I hope to see all of you in England. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.